Okay, so welcome everybody to day 98 of 100 days of self-love. I can't believe I got through it all. So thank you to those who have been with me throughout this journey. And thank you for those who are listening. Let me know if you're on the replay, if you're watching live. And today I'm excited to talk about grounding and how important it is to ground. And I have on here my friend Carolyn McGee, animal communicator and intuitive queen of intuition.
Queen of intuition, yes. And before I dive in on me and grounding, I just want to tell you how much fun it's been to see your gorgeous face in my news feed every single morning. It's just like, what's Jackie going to talk about today?
Oh, thank you for that feedback.
You're welcome. No, it's been a lot of fun and it's been very informative. So thank you for your commitment and your time. I really have enjoyed it, and I'm sure that there's a lot of other people out there that have too.
Oh, thank you. And sometimes I didn't even know what I was going to talk about till 5 minutes before.
Isn't that
Thank
the
God.
best? Yeah.
It is. Thank God for intuition, guides, angel, the universe, whatever you believe in, right?
Mhm. Absolutely, absolutely. And for just the ability to connect in and ground, which is why this particular topic is so powerful. We can get ourselves out of our body. For people who aren't familiar with me, my background is in engineering and in high tech manufacturing. So I spent many years in that analytical, logical, highly thinking thing where kind of forgetting I had a body. One of Jackie's favorite sayings to me in the very beginning was, "Where are you? Are you in your body?" Because oftentimes I wasn't. But learning how to really reconnect my energy, know where my soul is, and pull back aspects of myself, because we all leave little essences of ourselves when there's trauma, when we have an argument, sometimes when we're joyful. We leave bits of our energy, and sometimes it's past life, sometimes it's related to ancestors, sometimes it's just you know the kids aren't behaving.
Mhm.
Whatever, it can be extremely mundane things, but if we don't consciously pull that energy back into us and connect in with Mother Earth to ground, then we don't have full access to that beautiful gift of intuition.
Yes, I love where this is going. But first, I want you to share with the community, the audience, who you are, what you do, and who you serve.
Certainly. So my name is Carolyn McGee. You can reach me at carolynmcgee.com, or my Facebook page is Carolyn McGee Intuitive Coach. I am known as the Decision Queen. I support women who know that they have intuition, but they just don't trust it,
Mhm.
to help them really understand their own intuitive vocabulary and how they connect in with their divine guidance, to integrate it in this vessel we call a body, to be able to then take empowered action with complete trust, never
Yeah.
looking back, never looking back, never second guessing.
And you bring up a good point that so many of my clients will say that they had a lot of intuitive gifts when they were children,
Mhm.
but they were taught not to, they either shared something that nobody else knew, which scared everybody. And in that moment, they were taught to not talk about it. So they shut down their gifts. So, can you talk more about that and how detrimental it is to a person?
Yeah, so children are highly intuitive just by virtue of being born. Everybody has intuition. It is a myth that some people have it and some people don't.
Yeah.
Now, yes, some people have more defined gifts, or their gifts are encouraged, as children, and other people they're not. I fell into that category of stop making things up, don't be fanciful. And then I almost drowned when I was 10, and I shut down myself because I was afraid. I had made a choice to do something. Now I had permission, so it's not like I was, being the rebellious child, but I still chose to do something and almost lost my life. So I just completely didn't trust anything around me. And there was a lot of secrets in the family, and people didn't talk about things. And as a kid, if you picked up on something and asked for the truth, you could tell. Children are so sensitive. They know if somebody's lying to them or not. And so after a while, if they're conditioned, that's what we're done. It's a conditioning of,
Yeah.
you know, no, you're not reading that right. And especially as a little child, we don't. How do we trust ourselves when we're constantly told by our parents or the school system or a religious organization that what we're feeling is wrong?
Mm. Yeah. Yeah. So you bring up a couple good points. There's so many areas to go off on this topic, right? Um, First, when you talked about we shut it down. Now, it's a different concept for some people, and it can be hard to explain to people. And when we work with clients, I know you do and I do, we talk about when we experience a trauma, we shut down our energy. And that can be a hard concept to understand because we're not used to talking about our own personal energy. And so, can you share any more insight into explaining how we shut down that energy?
So I like former engineer. I like to
Yeah.
look at it as a gate, right? So like you've got a railroad, a train that's barreling down this thing, and it's got a pathway. Those pathways are our energy systems, our meridians. If you look at acupuncture or any of the Chinese medicine, there's energy systems. They're kind of like energetic veins that run through our body. So when they're open, when that gateway and portal is open, the train, which is the energy, can move through, and it can get from point A to point B, which might be, I feel weird in my stomach, and let me send a signal to my brain so I can figure out, is it fear or is it anticipation? Is it something I need to be concerned about? In a situation, the person, or is it something that I should be celebrating? But if that channel is blocked, or if it's diverted, if you think about train tracks, right? Sometimes they go off like this, and the train's supposed to be going this way, but the gate's shut and it goes off this way. Well, then that energy goes someplace where it doesn't belong. And it has no way to be interpreted because it's gone off in some weird space.
Yeah.
So, that's what I mean by shut down. Or it could be that it's completely blocked. There's just no way for it to go anywhere. And we're missing that signal. It's as if you've got a clogged artery and, you lose feeling in your hand. you know, Imagine it that way. You get tingles, something's going on, but you have to kind of open it all up.
That's exactly where I was going with that. And I love how intuition, we just have to start the conversation, right? So just like we have arteries and veins, we have an unseen highway, energetic highway, or emotional highway, which they kind of go hand in hand.
Yeah,
And they kind of go along with the meridians. But that's a great way to help people understand these concepts that are new. We need a visual, right? It's not
absolutely.
just trusting that what you do or what I do helps. We need a way to explain and understand. So I love that concept. So what happens um, when a child shuts down? Because children are so smart, and I think they get dismissed And because us as parents, and I'm not blaming us, I'm just trying to understand, right? I was raised completely different than I've raised my children. I want, and our future generations, it's important to raise them understanding them so that they can thrive. So yeah, I've got to look at my own parenting style and how do I need to change it so that children going forward are not shutting down. So what happens when we shut down? What kind of life is that like?
So I love color. You can see in my background, there's color. Everything is color for me. And, energy and color, they're essences of vibration.
Mm,
So when we shut down our energy, it's like living in black and white.
mm, yeah,
It's a
that's
gray
great.
tone. There's not as much vibrancy. It's not as you're going to get the story, right? Like if you think about, all right, I'm dating myself. The first time I saw The Wizard of Oz was in black and white.
Really?
I
I
was
have
on
to think about that.
it wasn't at the movie theater. It was on a TV, and all we had was a black and white TV.
Got it.
So
Okay.
yes,
Because we're about the same age, so I get it.
yeah, and anyway, I got the story. I loved the story. I just thought it was
Right.
so amazing. But then when I could see it, not only did I see it in color, I saw it on a big screen. And oh my God, what a difference.
Mhm.
The richness and the way the energy layers in and the contrast of things. So it's not only the depth contrast and the contrast of the intensity, the shapes. It's the color that gets added into it. That adds a whole different dimension. And that's what life is like when we have our intuition it fully open and we're completely available, or it's completely available to us. Then it's a different level of life and in richness.
Yeah.
Life is good, but life can be amazing.
Yeah. Yeah. And magical and
Magical.
surprising and unlimited. You have just no idea. We haven't even tapped into that. I
No.
think as a society, we haven't even lived our most thriving, vibrant, rich. I love the word richness, right? Like
Mhm.
richness in your health, in your wealth, in like all areas,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah, and creativity. If you think about it, everything around us at one point in time was a thought.
Mm,
Somebody thought of something and they made those cards, they made the bookshelves behind me, they made our computers. They
mhm.
came up with a concept, a download, if you want to call it that.
I love that
And
word.
I do too. And how beautiful it is. They had the energy moving through their physical bodies so they could take that concept that came into them and figure out the 3D mechanics to make
Mhm,
it work. Now, sometimes it wasn't like having a magic wand, although I
mhm,
still really, really want a magic wand. Um, they had trial and error and fixing things and trying over again. And that's why they came up with this thing called revisions
mhm,
so that they could create these things, but they've done it. And from the beginning
mhm,
of time, we've evolved and we've done the better mousetrap. And
mhm.
that's using that creative energy. And that's how the world expands so fast now.
Yeah, yeah, beautiful. Well, I could go on and on with this conversation. Um, how can people get a hold of you to learn more?
The easiest way is just to go on my website, carolynmcgee.com. There is a contact me form there. They can also sign up for my free gift. I call it my soul clarity gift. It really will help you understand your own intuition and kind of where you are on your journey. And I also offer a free consultation if people feel a little drawn to me and they want to explore whether or not I am a good person to do, whether it's an animal communication reading, an angel reading, or some coaching work. So I love connecting with people, and it is always a very rich, love that word, Jackie, experience for both of us, whether we end up working together further or not.
Yeah, love it. And what's your last final message or tip for anybody watching?
To breathe. I'm sure that they've heard that a lot in the last 100 days, but it's so powerful. And I love the magic number 3, 3 deep breaths in through your nose and out through your mouth, and just being conscious of it, feel it fill up your body and consciously releasing what you don't want as you do it,
Mm.
and keep your feet on the ground. Well, it does. I mean, not only, that's the metaphorical thing, but it's a physical thing. Having your feet on the ground as you breathe helps you connect and clear faster.
Yeah, and I laugh, it's so simple, but so powerful.
Mm-hmm.
And, in my practice, I tell people just drink water. Sometimes the simplest things we forget because we make it hard on ourselves and we think we have to go research and do something really, hard. But no,
Yeah,
it can be so simple.
it's that simple. And, we unconsciously cross ourselves, right? So we're shifting our energy with
Mm.
crossing our arms or crossing our legs. So just that gentle thing of opening up our body in alignment and
Yeah,
breathing just resets the energy.
absolutely. Well, thank you, Carolyn. This has been an amazing conversation. Um, and again, leave your contact information in the comments. And thank you, everybody, for watching. Leave any comments and connect with Carolyn. And everybody, give yourself some self-love today.
Absolutely. Bye-bye.
Bye.